Good evening. We're here to share with you our Master of Education, Workland School of Education and Information and Overview session tonight. You are joining Rana Mosher, our director, Dr. Rana Mosher, Director of Professional Graduate Programs in Education, and Stacy Gulaf, our team lead of Graduate Programs in Education. And myself, Angie Crowley, the manager, graduate programs in education. So we'll go through some of our slides here and do encourage all to just leave your questions till the Q&A and we'll get to them at the end. We'll start our session tonight with take an opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 in region Southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising the Siksika, Piikani and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nations of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. We pay respect and thank those people who have cared for the land where we're privileged to live and work. We invite you also to reflect on the place to which you belong and or in which you are currently located. Tonight's session is the first in a series of information sessions that we'll be hosting. Today, we'll focus on the big picture of our MEd degrees and educational research, including similarities and differences between the MEd specialist and the MEd interdisciplinary degrees. We'll also talk briefly about the programs available within those two different routes to the MEd and about the application process. Future sessions will go into greater depth about specific programs with faculty and staff, and we'll work with who works with the programs, the different programs. We hope to see you in another session in the future as you narrow on your interests and get ready to submit your application. So tonight's session is our overview of the MEd degree and programs.
Okay, well, hello, I'm Rana Mosher, as Angie mentioned at the beginning. So we're going to talk about the MEd degree. We're going to talk briefly about the specialist and interdisciplinary programs, knowing that there's more information about them coming up. And just give a little bit of thinking information, some things to reflect on as you might be considering which degree program is a better choice for you. And then just again, super briefly on the application requirements and processes, because we do have those upcoming sessions. So the Master of Education is a course-based degree. So that means that there's a structured set of courses that participants in the degree program take. It does have a research component, but it is not intended to help a student write a thesis at the end of the degree. That's at the master's level, that would be supported most often by a Master of Arts program. These are professional programs, so they are, most of our students are working professionals, and they bring their professional interests to the degrees, degree programs. They explore topics and issues that are relevant in their practice, and take their theoretical learning back into those practical situations, both through coursework, where a lot of courses have both a theoretical and practical component to them, and then through your education back out into the life that you undertake as a professional in them. For the most part, they're structured in cohort groups. So a group of students who, for example, might begin a program together in the summer of 2024 would carry through in the MEd interdisciplinary that full year together, or in the MEd specialist 2 years together, knowing that, of course, that sometimes, life circumstances affect that, or that there might be a student who joins for one course just from another degree program. But there's a real strength that develops among the students within a cohort They become really important, critical friends for one another, scholarly friends, and an incredible support system going through the program together, and find that the conversations develop across the programs, across the year or years, as you're with a group of people who've had the same experiences as you've had in courses in the past, and you're able to build those connections and pick up conversations that way. Our programs are offered as either fully online or blended instruction. And so in blended instruction, that would mean that in the summer, students come together on campus for 2 weeks face-to-face, but then carry on with online learning throughout their other courses in other semesters. Some of our programs do have that summer component. Others are fully online. So that might be another thing for you to consider and look at when you're thinking about which program you might be interested in applying to, is what meets your timetable, what meets your circumstances, your work and family circumstances, and how how you're perhaps best able to engage in learning through your degree. The MEd is a very intentional step toward the Doctorate of Education, or the EdD, for people who might be interested in that. We talked earlier about the thesis-based programs, and MA might lead to a PhD. The MEd most typically would lead to an MEd if people wanted to continue to pursue graduate education after the master's. So the MEd specialist degree, they all take place within a 2 calendar year time span, and there are 12 courses within the degree. 8 of them are within one specialization content area. So the ones that we have open for application for this year would include one in adult, community, and higher education. So 8 content courses would be in that area. And then there would be 4 research courses. We have a specialist program in curriculum, pedagogy, and learning. So all 8 content courses would be in that area with the research courses. And then the third program accepting applications in the MEd specialist route this year would be in K-12 education. So leading for learning. So 8 leadership courses, 4 research courses. So these programs tend to be really applicable to students who really have that singular content focus. They know what they want to learn about, they know what they're committed to studying, and they are all in on that one area. The MEd Interdisciplinary is a different kind of experience in that it takes place across 3 years rather than 2. And they don't need to be 3 continuous years. It is possible to do a year, to take a break, to do another year, and pick it up again, just depending on students' circumstances and other commitments. So in the first year, which we call the graduate certificate, and there actually is an accreditation awarded to students who are successful in that first year. It is a 4-course content area, which might be in, for example, some of those things that we just talked about. It might be in leadership, K-12 leadership. It might be in curriculum. It might be in learning sciences. It might be in counseling or applied psychology. And then at the end of that 4 years, 4 courses, when a student enrolls again in the graduate diploma, they can take another 4-course topic that might be related to that, or they can take something very, very different. So for example, students who might be interested in teaching English as an additional language might take that in 1 year, and then in their second year, they might take educational neuroscience and think about how those go together in their professional context. So it's all driven by the goals that students have, the professional work that they do, and the way that they see different topic areas coming together in their professional work and therefore in their studies. And then the third year are those 4 research courses. And so we still have 8 content courses and 4 research courses. The difference is that there's flexibility across time with the MEd Interdisciplinary, and there's an opportunity to really customize the topics that students bring together based on their interests and contexts. So our research courses include a program and practice evaluation course, a course in research methodologies. The collaborative practice is really where students have the opportunity to design a research project. And because this is a course-based degree and there are not faculty supervisors assigned to students, the research is limited to research methodologies that don't require ethical clearance, and that means interaction with human participants. But as you get into the program, you'll find out about all other kinds of interesting research that can be carried out and let you explore a question that you're interested in. And then the 4th research course is writing educational research, which allows students to really pull together the work that they've done in designing and creating a study, gathering data, and being able to think how they want to mobilize that knowledge, to what audiences would they be able to present that in various different forms, so presentations or writings or whatever it might be based on their the particular study. So we get a lot of questions asking about which might be better, the specialist or the interdisciplinary, and really we turn that back to the potential applicants. So really thinking about what are your areas of study, what are you interested in, what do you want to learn about, what are your professional goals? Are you interested and able to commit to that 2-year more intense experience, 12 courses in 2 years? Are you able to commit to that, and are you able to sign up for that whole degree experience right at the beginning? Or would you like to have that extra flexibility with the MEd Interdisciplinary and spread your studies out, be able to combine topics that interest you in unique ways? So those are things to think about. I hope you have been exploring on our webpage. You can see the incredible diversity of topics that are offered in the MEd Interdisciplinary, and can see some of the particular courses that make up both the MEd specialist programs and the MEd Interdisciplinary topics.
Thanks, Rana. Yeah, thank you. My name is Stacey Goliath, and I'm the team lead in the GPE office. And the next couple of slides, I'm going to talk to you about different components of the graduate certificate, diploma, and MEd interdisciplinary application. So for the graduate certificate, the application component, the admission requirements and components are a GPA with a 3.0 on the last 2 years of a 4-year undergraduate degree, English language proficiency if it's applicable, a written statement of intent, 2 references, and unofficial and or official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions. So with this point with unofficial and official transcripts, the point that I want to highlight is that it would be preferred if you could submit your official transcript, but we do accept the unofficial transcript. And we also do advise that applicants check out our How to Apply page, because we provide the criteria that needs to be present on an unofficial transcript so that we can use that transcript to complete a GPA calculation. So if we don't have that information on an unofficial transcript, then then you would be required to provide your official transcript, so we have all of the information. So that's an important note, piece to understand about the unofficial and official transcripts. And another component of the application, if applicable, is relevant prior learning experiences. And those are for applicants in exceptional circumstances and individuals who don't meet the formal academic requirements for our degree, but have significant life achievements. There is a process that you can follow in terms of still applying to our program and for your application to be considered for admission. So that's the graduate certificate. For our graduate diploma, the admission requirements is a GPA of 3.0 on your graduate certificate courses. And also you would be asked to provide a written statement of intent so that the academic coordinators and reviewers can evaluate your interest in the particular programs. And for the MEd Interdisciplinary, that admission requirement is a GPA of a 3.0 on your graduate certificate and your diploma. So for this stage, you wouldn't be required to provide the other components because it is research courses, but we do want to see that you're maintaining your GPA throughout the program and the degrees. Next slide. So the application for the MEd specialist. It's very similar to the application components and admission requirements for the graduate certificate. So again, you have to have a GPA of a 3.0 on your last 2 years of your undergraduate degree, English language proficiency, if applicable, a written statement of intent, 2 references, unofficial and or official transcripts, and the relevant prior learning experiences is also applicable for this program. So now we're to the question section of the presentation. So if you have any overall general questions about the programs or anything specific about what we've talked about tonight, then we're happy to answer it in, I think, in an open forum or in the Q&A. We can answer the questions as well.
Yeah, everyone should be able to access that Q&A and be able to write your questions in there. We're very happy to answer them. We also recognize that you just may need a little bit of time to think. And if you come back to some of the more detailed sessions that are coming up in the next few weeks, then there's lots of opportunity to ask questions there. And those are also a little bit more interactive where you have the chance to be in breakout rooms and to talk to people. So, oh, there's a great question. I bet Stacy knows that answer. When do the questions take place in the summer? That one was in the chat. What are our dates?
The dates for the summer courses, I actually don't know off the top of my head, but it is usually
8th to the 19th this year, maybe?
I believe so.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. It's July
Oh,
8th
good.
to the 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked the wrong person. Sorry, Stacey.
Yes,
You
should have
That's
been
okay.
That's okay.
And then we have a question in the Q&A about what job options are available to the MEd interdisciplinary graduates outside of the classroom. So that's a little bit hard to answer because it depends on where you're located, what kind of sector you're in. So although many of our students are from K-12 education, and a lot of them use their graduate education perhaps as a pathway to a formal leadership position, but sometimes into kind of more of just a development of their teaching and their own expertise and their ability to provide leadership based on content. We do also have students from such a range of sectors in the world. So we have a program in transdisciplinary leadership. We've had people, students who are from the police, we have a lot of students who come from healthcare and social work in our graduate programs. And so it's very difficult for me to articulate what the job opportunities might be there. We've had people who work for the Calgary Public Library. I once had a student who was an education officer in the Navy in one of my classes in the MEd. So it's a little bit difficult to answer that question. But I think if you really reflect on what you're interested in and what kind of career goals you have or what kind of career advancement, we should be able to help you think of a program or a topic area that would help you reach those goals. So if we understand what you're interested in, we might be able to help you find the right topic for that. We can just wait a minute, see if anything else comes up. Okay, well, as I said, there's lots more opportunities to ask questions in some of the upcoming sessions, which are more interactive. In the MEd program, are there any transferable credits that can be applied to the certificate year? I'm not sure I completely understand that. So I wonder if you're maybe what we can talk about, and then we can find out if this is what you're thinking is credits coming in, if you can get advanced credits coming in. And I'm sorry if that's not quite the answer. If it's not, then just if you could explain a little bit more. Oh, that is good. Okay. So Stacey or Angie, I'll pass that over to you.
Yeah, so with the advanced credit process, advanced credit only comes into play if it's for a course that's extra to your degree. So it can't be a course that you've gotten credit for. It has to be a course that you haven't received credit for, and that's extra to the degree. It would also have to be a course that to a large extent matches up with a course that's already in the program. So what you're saying with advanced credit is I've already taken a very similar course, and I'm asking if I can get credit for that course, and it's extra to the degree that I've already taken, and I haven't received credit for it. So if you meet those criteria for it, then you would go and look at the advanced credit policy. And I believe for a graduate certificate, you could request advanced credit for up to one course. And you would indicate that in your application, and you would also have to provide the course outline for the course that you had taken that you're asking for advanced credit for, so that the reviewers can see the course and make their assessment and then confirm if indeed it does match up with a course that's in the program. So there are a few boxes that need to be checked off first, but it is something that is possible.
Stacey. So I have a question too here. Does the interdisciplinary program in the summer take place online? So our summer semester is a 6-week semester. When you're interested, if there's particular topics or programs, and because this applies both to the interdisciplinary and to the MEd, take a look at the delivery mode that's listed on the webpage for that particular topic or program. If it says blended, then check, and it's very likely that the summer course is on campus for two out of those 6 weeks. And so those tend to be quite intense learning experiences. And then you continue to have the support of your instructor and your cohort group for the remaining weeks of the summer semester. If when you're checking the delivery modality for the particular topic or specialist program that you're interested in, and it says fully online, then you're interacting fully online for those 6 weeks of the summer semester, as well as for the additional semesters. Something else that you might want to take a look at as well would be some of the four course topics in the interdisciplinary have 2 courses in the summer, one in the fall and one in the winter. Some of them have 1 course in the summer, 1 course in the fall, 1 course in the winter, and 1 the following spring. So those might be some of the details that you'd want to look at as you were kind of exploring things that you might be interested in, and be able to kind of find the right match for you. So could be online, could be a blended in the summer. After the summer, though, it will always be online. A question about, does the government provide grants, fundings, loans to students entering the certificate program? Okay, this is not my area of expertise at all about the funding. I'm going to pass this one over.
So I can jump in here. So in terms of the course-based programs, there isn't funding that's attached to the program. So we do have on our website an awards page, and we do encourage students to look at our program recommended awards and to look at the terms of reference to see if there's an award that perhaps you might be eligible for. You can apply for student loans, but something to take into consideration is your status. So depending on certain loans, you might need to be full-time as opposed to part-time. So those are things to keep in mind when you are applying for loans, that your status is something that might be a requirement,
Full-time, part-time stuff.
full-time and part-time.
Yeah. Okay, does the MEd Specialist or Interdisciplinary program require applicants to have any classroom experience prior to the program? So as I was mentioning, a lot of students don't work in K-12 education, and so no, there's no classroom experience certainly required. For people who are interested in programs that are more directly tied to the K-12 space, like for example, the school leadership in K-12 education, that's a K-12 education, very specific one, as opposed to transdisciplinary leadership or post-secondary leadership. In those situations, no, there's not a requirement for it. I have had myself, and many of my colleagues would have had as well, students who do not have a broad set of classroom work experiences coming into the program, and are still able to be successful. I would say, and that experience within the discipline of the topic that you want to study is an advantage. It helps you. It's easier to make the connections to practical situations. It's easier to understand some of the the lived implications of some of the research, but certainly not an expectation that you would have any particular set of or number of years of experience or anything like that. So it's just really about knowing yourself, what experiences you have, and if you feel like you're really interested and excited and want to take on the challenge of graduate education. It's an exhilarating process, but it's not an easy process. But I think it adds enormously to your life. So I do hope that you're thinking about it really seriously. Okay, well, maybe we will bring that Q&A session to a close for today, but we do hope to see you back at other sessions and to give you lots of opportunity to ask questions along the way. So I'll just keep going here since I've been hogging the airtime a little bit, and just say that there's also an opportunity to ask us questions by email. So if you have questions about the MEd program overall, particularly the academic side, or if you're looking for guidance on which topics or programs might be a good match for you and your interests, please, I'm very happy to help. You can email me directly, or you can go through our Graduate Programs and Education office. We have an amazing team of people that work with Stacy and Angie in our Graduate Programs and Education office, and they are the brilliant people to talk to if you're interested in some of those application processes, some of the ins and outs of how you manage the online system of the application. And you can also, if you're looking at individual web pages, you will see a graduate program administrator listed for the particular topic or program you're interested in. You'll also see an academic coordinator who is a researcher and probably teaches in that program and would be able to give you a lot more detailed information about the courses or program content, perhaps even some of the things that happen within those courses or program, so that you would be able to, again, just really reflect on whether that's the particular topic that's going to help you expand your thinking and meet your interests and goals. So there's lots of people here interested in helping you. And we love to get your emails. Okay, and as Angie mentioned earlier, we have these sessions coming up. Figure if you're here, you have found the registration link already. I do believe that we'll be sending you the slides and recording for this session. And so you can see the web address there as well on where you can find some of those additional registration links. We do hope to see you again. So thank you for being here this evening. It was lovely to begin to meet you. And next time we'll see your faces.